Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Comment below, how are you guys? I'm so excited to be here, especially on a full moon. I love full moons so much. They're probably my favorite day of the month, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I kind of treat it very much like a ritualistic, exciting, almost like a birthday type of situation. I'm a little extra, I'll admit it, but what do we do? Okay. So, thank you for joining me. For those of you who are new, thank you for being here, and please like and subscribe. If you're feeling called to share the content, that's amazing too. But really, I'm just happy to have your presence. I know that it's hard to make time for ourselves. And so the time that we do want to devote to ourselves, we want to make sure that it's, going to be worth our time, right? Time is very valuable these days. So if you're investing any time with me, I greatly appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you. So just wanted to get into things really quick. Happy eclipse. We're in the lunar eclipse today, so that's exciting. We go through different phases, the solar eclipse, the lunar eclipse every 6 months. They come in pairs, they go like every other. So we're in the lunar eclipse right now, which is meaning that the earth cast an overshadow onto the moon. Depending on where you're at in which hemisphere, it obviously varies as far as like how that is portrayed. For us here in the Western hemisphere, I don't really think we got much visual of it. I think we got the like overcast of it for a brief like 7 minutes or so, like this morning. Might have been slightly longer, but it was like really early in the morning that took place, and it was just like half of the moon was covered for a brief amount of time. So we didn't really get to see a whole lot of it, but essentially it's still a really powerful time because it's a super moon. So that means like the view of it is enhanced. We're gaining a larger perspective of it, which is exciting. So yeah, lots happening here. We also are moving into, the Aquarius, age of Aquarius, as well as some Gemini placements. So a lot of air element, whereas before we were really into the earth element aspect of things. So we're really changing directions as far as the elements go, which is exciting. I think we need a change. I think we're all ready for something fresh, and air energy definitely brings in that fresh perspective for us to kind of start anew and to kick the season off right. So, I'm really excited to bring you new information. I believe I, discussed a little bit about what's happening with the planets in the last video. Although, as I watched the playback, I just wanted to apologize because those videos were a little bit not as well developed as I would have hoped, looking back in retrospect. I promised you guys 3 pals. I only delivered 2. I had some technical difficulties. And then on top of that, I feel like I just wasn't as focused as I could have been because some of the information that I was relaying was not up to par as far as even the planetary alignment. The first video I said it accurately, which was the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction, but then in the other videos I think I got it mixed up. So I just wanted to clear the air that I apologize for that. I don't like being that knowledgeable when it comes to my work. So, I really wanted to take the time and do the studies. Now, with that being said, we are still in that planetary alignment. Obviously, it's not as visible for us, but it's still happening like throughout the year, essentially. It's been happening where we've been in that alignment with Jupiter and Saturn being kind of like in the same aspects there. But the recent change that I was mentioning in my last video, and what I meant to kind of make mention of, and I think what the biggest mistake is that I was stating is that right now with the good planetary changes that we've been in since May, the beginning of May essentially, that has been the Jupiter into Pisces. Okay, so that kind of just changes things up. Obviously, Jupiter and Saturn aren't exactly the same as far as their how they operate. So there's been a little bit of conflict, but since the beginning of May up until like end of July, we're going to be seeing a lot of good aspects because we have that Jupiter into Pisces, which brings a lot of promise and a lot of hope and a lot of like just good renewed energy essentially. So like I was saying in the last video, now is a really powerful time to be manifesting and all that. We are going to be going into retrograde in a few days, but aside from that, things are going to be looking really well with the planets up until about like the 1st of July. Things are going to get a little hectic there because we're going to not only have the retrograde, but there's going to be some other changes with the planets. But meanwhile, we're going to just enjoy this because we haven't had really a good planet alignment in a long time. Last year, obviously, as I mentioned in my prior videos, was a little bit of a train wreck. So we're picking back up essentially. But aside from all of that, eclipses are a great time for release. And, with every full moon, aside from it being, whether it's an eclipse or not, I really, really like to set a lot of intentions and do a lot of manifestations. It's a very, very powerful time for us as humans. There's a lot of like good energy going on. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely like feel the pull of the full moon. Generally, we'll have more energy during the full moon. We'll be a little bit more cardinal. We'll be a little bit more like in our feminine energy as well. So, some powerful things that I like to do and what's kind of notable for most people that practice on full moons is, to wear white. You don't necessarily have to, but that's just kind of a practice that's been utilized and what I like to do. It's something new for me. I've kind of taken it on the past couple of full moons, and that's why I bought this dress. I only wear this dress on full moons. It's kind of like that special time for me, you could say. And then like you can wear moonstone if you're a female or a male. I have a necklace that's moonstone, but because my room is such a mess, I can't even get to my closet right now. I guess it's not that messy. There's just a lot of stuff barricading my closet right now because I did a lot of revamping. So I'm not wearing my necklace, but I do have this moonstone that I absolutely love that I'm actually holding throughout this video because I want to be in resonance with that. But I did want to just go over different practices and like how you can utilize these and what I would recommend, especially for the eclipse, being such a powerful time for us to release and to let go. This is like really, really, really a good time. So if there's any like lingering emotions you've been like holding on to, anything like that, now is the time to really, really let that go. And we'll talk about different methods of how we can do that and how we can utilize that in our manifestations. So perfect. Okay. And then I'll give you some tips and tricks about what's worked the best for me as far as my manifestation goes and what's been the fastest results. And yeah, we'll get into it. So, the very first thing like that I would say, well, there's two things really that I would say 100% are the most powerful. Everybody has different methods of what they feel is like, their highest form. And we'll talk about different methods, of course, so you can have different ideas to go by and you can find what obviously resonates best for you. But number one for me is being in a good mood, being in a happy state, being in a calm state. So like just being overall in a good vibe, emotionally, mentally. Okay, that's like I would say number one. Number two is gratitude. So, obviously joy. We can't necessarily be in a good mood or have any joy or really anything like that if we aren't being grateful. So I've noticed my fastest manifestations and my fastest just pull to have a good attitude is an attitude of gratitude, which I know is like super cheesy and super like overstated probably, but it's kind of underrated to me in the manifestation realm of things. Just having a list of your daily gratitude can really make a difference. And I actually have a gratitude journal, and I should have grabbed it. Let me grab it. We're just gonna move slightly this way. I apologize while I grab it. I'm so unprofessional, you guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, there we go. So this is a gratitude journal that I picked up from Amazon. And it looks like this. My kids kind of scribbled on it, but I'll show you the pages so you can just get an idea of what you're working with. I like this. You don't necessarily have to have a gratitude journal by any means, guys, if you want to save a few dollars. This is like, I think, $12 on Amazon. But I really liked it because it has kind of like an outline for you to go by. I don't know if you can see it too well, but there's a morning meditation and an evening reflection. Okay, so it allows you to set an intention for the day. So it has a today's focus, an affirmation, a list to write for what you're grateful for, what you're excited about for the day, how you make space for gratitude, and then the evening part, the evening reflection, has you be able to write down a list. So good things that happened today, things that you wanted to do to make a difference, how you felt, and a positive thought to carry yourself to sleep. So it's really cool because it just allows you to kind of be more consistent and accountable with your daily actions towards manifestation and towards, your different meditations and things. Oh, okay. Can you guys change the channel and I'll be right out? Okay. Okay, thank you. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you, thank you. Okay, go with your sister. Okay, can you shut the door for Mama? Thank you. All right, so I really like this one. Like I said, you don't have to get a gratitude journal by any means, but it's just kind of a good way to keep the priority with what you're wanting to focus on. But you really can use any journal and that's going to work. A gratitude list alone is probably the most beneficial thing, as well as meditation and prayer, in my opinion, as well as good emotions, which we talked about. So, things like that can really just help get your mind frame right. And um, something else that I like is when I wake up, the first thing I do, or one of the first things I try to do, is just pray. It kind of gets you in that element of, and if you don't pray, that's okay too. But just having a routine, of stuff to do that is going to be beneficial for yourself, to get just in the right mindset. Just to have, like, I have a little sign up on my, oh, guys, why am I so forgetful? On my altar, wow, okay, on my altar that says today is a gift, okay? So things like that just really, really resonate with, something that will just kind of keep you in that headspace of like, living in the moment, just being grateful. Another thing I like to say, an affirmation, almost every morning, actually, yeah, every morning I've been saying it, is thank you for all the opportunities today, because it just kind of sets the mood for like, your first thought when you wake up, or your first couple of thoughts, like that's going to kind of set the tone for the rest of the day, right? So I just really like having those positive thoughts right when I wake up. It kind of gets me in the right type of mindset for the rest of the day, which is really beautiful and kind of what we're aiming for, right? So, yeah, I'm excited about that. So there's a lot of manifestation techniques that I wanted to go over with you guys, but those were the two main. Like, if there's anything that you want to just start implementing into your daily routine that will make a difference for yourself, those are the definite two that I would just like right off top recommend. But like I said, we're going to go over a lot of other different suggestions that I have for you. You can always just take what resonates. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I did want to share this with you guys because I'm a pretty good manifester, and I like to do it. It's fun for me. So anyway, and then what we're also going to do, I'm just going to kind of go over what we're going to do real quick, so you guys know what we're in for, is I co-created with my guides outside this morning while my kids were playing. We wrote some, they really wrote it. I just wrote it down because they're amazing. And we wrote some poems for you guys. So we're going to do 2 sacred poems, both about the moon, one of them specifically about the eclipse. So that's going to be exciting. I'm going to save those to the end of the reading to leave you guys on that note from the angels. And it was really magical though, because when I was outside, just a quick side note, sorry. When I was outside, there was a monarch butterfly, and that's actually that's like one of the things I asked my angels to see, in order to like let it be known that they're around, right? And butterflies are actually pretty rare these days. They were a lot more common when I was younger, but it was really pretty, like baby monarch butterfly. It was so cute, and it followed me around, you guys. Like it was like in the garden where I was, and then I had to go over to the hose to turn it off because my kids are playing in the water, and it followed me in the bushes, and it was just like looking at me, and I was like communicating with it, and it was just looking at me the whole time. And I was like, that has to be my angels, because what are the odds that like that butterfly would just be there, the whole time, out of all the places it could have gone, like it didn't, why would it go towards the bushes where I was? Like it was just magical. It was like following me around. So it made me really happy. It just like set the tone for today. I'm like, yes, my angels are here. I wear my grandma's bracelet, which always helps me as well. So life is good. I'm already like not holding it because I picked something else up. Did my kids say? I don't know. Anyway, so let's get into some other manifestation techniques for you guys. So now specifically what I'd recommend for this particular eclipse, right? Because like we discussed, eclipses are all about letting go, releasing, all of those good things. So what I would really recommend, and this is something I usually do for New Year's specifically, but now I'm going to start implementing it for eclipses now that I know a little bit more about astrology and how those eclipses, like the symbolism essentially. So, because of that, I wanted to recommend a burning bowl ritual. Now, you can have your own burning bowl ritual. You can look this up online. You can really just do this however resonates for you, whatever's best for you. But essentially, what I'll do is write a list, and you can do this even like on individual little pieces of paper. So whatever's easier, okay? But write a list of all the things that you're wanting to let go of. Um, and this can range, you guys. This can be from anything. I haven't written mine yet, but there are a few things that I'll tell you that I'm going to put on the list just to kind of give you guys some ideas. But again, this is like completely at your free will. You don't have to do this by any means. I think it would be very helpful for you because there's a lot of intention behind that, and intention is really the mention for the angels and for magic to happen. So anyway, so what I will be writing on my list is no more shopping for clothes, because I kind of shared this with you guys a lot in the past, that I have a bit of a tendency to when I don't want to deal with heavy emotions, or I'm feeling lonely, or there's anything that is just a little too heavy for me, I will start shopping online and typically buy clothes. And I have so many clothes. Like, of all things in the world, the last thing I need is clothes. And so I've been really trying to let that go, really just try to sell some of my clothes, whatever. I've told you guys I've struggled with this in the past. So it's something I really want to hold myself accountable with. I've actually been really, really, really good. This past, like, I would say like 2 months, it's pretty much like completely subsided. But I want to make sure that the full intention is there so I can hold myself accountable, and so that the angels can also hold me accountable. So it's like even stuff that is like pretty much out of your life, but there might just be a few lingering like attachments to it, or a few lingering like ways we could change that behavior. That those are the type of intentions that you want to set. Obviously, if there's big major things, that's when I like to pray. Like, even for my shopping addiction, I knew that I would struggle with it by myself, because it's been I've had it for like since I was little. So I knew I'd need the angels on that one, because I knew it was going to be really, really challenging for me. Like, out of all the things, that's probably the thing I've struggled with the very most. Well, not of all things, but it's definitely one of them. So I wanted to make sure that the angels like really knew, like, look, I need your help. And they will help you. I promise. I promise. It's such a miracle, and it's so like magical how they help and how they show up, and they really, really just want to be there for us. It's so beautiful. But yeah, so that's one of the things I'm going to put. I'm also going to put like no more negative mindset, no more scarcity mindset, which is something I've struggled with. And scarcity mindset, guys, I know we talked a little bit about this in one of my past videos in terms of like abundance and things like that, but it also can like transpire into just the way that we behave with our relationships, with, you know, I guess mostly it is in terms of money, but like feeling like we can't go out and get what we want, even just like in relation to our goals and like what we want to do for work and stuff like that. So it can kind of really transpire in like weird ways like that too. Like it's not just specifically money related, it can be opportunity related, it can be relationship related, it can be, you know, those type of things. So the more awareness we have, obviously, with how we're perceiving things and what's driving our decisions, right? Is it fear or is it love? That can help us kind of redirect our focus into more of a sound judgment, because like for instance, if we're operating from the mind or from the ego, that's when fear can take hold, because if we're just thinking of things too rationally, we can overanalyze and have a tendency to maybe make things out a little bit scarier than they need to be, that type of thing. But if we're running from our heart and we're running from our soul, it's just kind of like that resonance with God of like divine love and surrendering. And that can be really, really difficult, but it can be really powerful. So, you know, just releasing any type of like negative mindsets, any relationships that are pretty much gone, but like say there's just a few lingering text messages, like you guys stay in communication as friends or something, but it's really kind of like time to wrap those up. um, yeah, any like addictions that are lingering, any like changes that you want to make with your health, so it's almost like a goal, but like the opposite of goal, right? It's like stuff we want to get rid of, essentially. Now, you can also use this time to create goals, or you can wait until the next full moon to write those goals. However you want to work things, that's what I love about all this, with spirituality and things, is like you can kind of take it at your own pace. And the more tapped in you are to your intuition, the more you'll know what you need to do for yourself. But it's a really beautiful energy to be in, because you'll get these intuitive downloads of like, okay, this is what I need to be doing. And you can give yourself the time and space that you need in order to kind of like do what you know you need to do and not feel like so rushed. So don't rush the process by any means. I mean, that we're all learning, we're all in this together. Oh gosh, I always like to like throw my hair over the microphone. Sorry. But yeah, so, prayer is another thing I like to do for manifestation, communication with the angels. This is another big one that I'll tell you guys that's like something major for me. I like to tap into music, and I like to just sit and like be happy, or even dance and just be super, super happy, and just like almost like I'm having a party with my angels. I know it sounds crazy, but it's so much fun. Abundance planning is another big one. Writing down all the things you want. I talked about this in another video. Don't put a cap on it. Act as if, you have all the money in the world. So don't limit yourself to, any restrictions that you may be facing as of now. Just plan it out. Write it down. Write down whatever you want. It's all yours, right? So, also I like to do candles. I'll burn candles for the angels, incense, which I pretty much do every day anyway. Palo Santo, clearing your energy with Palo Santo, clearing, your aura, saging, the room, that type of thing. I do meditations. Another big one, especially for master manifestors, is visualization. So, taking the time to like daydream. And something that I learned from another spiritualist. I can't remember her name. She was really good. I saw just like a brief video of hers though. She mentioned that one of the most powerful techniques that she had used was when she was like on her way going to sleep, she would start to visualize the life that she wanted, even just like 5 minutes a night, 10 minutes a night, kind of made that part of her nightly routine. Right before she fell asleep, she'd visualize the life that she wanted. And she said that was like the most powerful thing for her, because she was able to just tap into her goals. And what better way to do that? That's just like to have a routine of that is like really, really powerful, because it's like all these little times of being in that space and that energy really, really add up. So I thought that was beautiful. You can create a dream board, okay? So like getting clippings of different magazines or pictures online, putting them on a board of, stuff that you want to acquire or things that are like similar to the lifestyle that you want to have, different houses, different cars, things that you want in your life, things like that. So salt baths are a big one. So you can clear your aura with salt baths. I love to do that. I like to use Himalayan salts. You can use Epsom salts. Really anything to clear your aura. Again, we talked about releasing. So goal setting, again, I talked about that earlier. Clear intentions on what you want. That's huge, right? Like writing down your intentions, even speaking to the angels about that. That's going to be major. So things like that. Let's see. I have so many notes. Oh, here we go. Nope. Oh, no, no. Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Okay. So, yeah, don't forget to like ask for help from the angels if you feel a little blocked. They're always here to help us. They always want to help us. So just make sure that you focus on, the miracles of life and all that good stuff. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm trying to find the rest of this stuff that I wrote down. I probably could do it by memory, but I'm scared that I'm gonna forget stuff. Okay, I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. I'm so sorry. I really wanted this to be a little bit more professional in this video than it was in the last, which at least I'm giving you guys accurate information in this one, but I guess this is the air season, right? So make sure that you stay grounded. Not that air is like flighty, but it can be, I guess, in the sense that like there's nothing to root it down, right? Like it can kind of go where it's like the wind, right? Like kind of just goes with the flow, which is beautiful. It's the best energy. It's the best energy for manifestations as well because it's just in tune with the universe, very much like, moving with the flow, go with the flow type of energy, like like water, sorry. I'm like, if that even makes sense. But it also is a time that we need to remember to stay rooted and stay grounded and not allow that to sway our root chakra too much because we're not in that grounded earth energy. So being outside, being in the dirt, that type of thing. Now, I did want to tell you guys something too that's like a secret that I feel like I don't know if anyone really talks about, but you can really use any element to manifest, but you have to just have that intention behind it and you have to have that known. Like you have to set that like in motion. So I did want to let you guys know that. So like if you do resonate, if you like flames, if you like fire, if you like water, if you like air, if you the earth, whatever floats your boat, that's something you can manifest with, but you just have to set that intention. Okay. And whatever elements really resonate with you. Now, another thing, if you do have crystals, it's a beautiful time to charge your crystals under the full moon, or just be around crystals. You can take what's called the moon bath, which is where you run outside naked under the moonlight. I have yet to do that, but it sounds like fun. Just being in touch with your senses, really. I really like that on the full moon, just like it's a time to relax, be creative, be nurturing, just be sensual, take care of ourselves, nurturing to everything really. And then also just music, scents. It's a great time for that. Really like that Taurus type of energy. I really like that. And just supporting ourselves. And last thing I will say, just real quick, without getting too in depth or too provocative, if you will. If you are younger than 18, you might just want to like mute this for just a brief moment. I'm going to try to say this as PG as possible. You can also use a visualization technique while you are feeling great, if that makes sense. While you're happy, right? While you're in a good vibe, um, you know, and that is very, very powerful. Okay, so that's the other thing I just wanted to say. Because I wouldn't feel fair to you guys if I didn't include everything that I know. So that's that. Okay, I think we are ready to move on to our sacred poetry and get a daily crystal invitation to find out. We'll do the daily crystal first, the daily crystal inspiration. Where did my voice just go? Like, I was doing good. Maybe my guides didn't want me to mention that last thing. I'm sorry, angels, if that wasn't appropriate. But we're in an earthly body, so I have to, um, you know, make mention of that. I just got the card go deeper. And the other thing I wanted to tell you guys too is I have been keeping these a little bit too lightweight on maybe just some advice and things like that. I know I haven't been going as in depth as I could. So I'm going to work on, more studies and more information that I can gather for you guys to make these videos more interesting. I feel like this is probably going to be one of the most interesting topics that I've discussed so far, just because of the amount of stuff we're discussing. But yeah, so there's that. Let's see. Malachite, it's time to transform. Guys, we can't transform if we're holding on to stuff that doesn't serve us, right? So that's just kind of that letting go is kind of like one of those final steps to be able to transform. I love malachite, by the way. That's like the next crystal I want to get. You can manifest crystals too. You can set that intention. But yeah, so like if we don't clear out the old, we can't make room for the new, right? So yeah, I just love that. It is time to transform, time to become that butterfly. I got that one again. Epidote, go deeper. Okay, so now I'm getting more insight on this one. At first, I was like, I know I'm kind of scratching the surface, but what I'm actually really gathering from this, and this is something that I need to resonate with as well, but in order to give you guys advice on, intuitively what I'm picking up from this, I would think that, or I would say that this is in correlation to what we need to let go of, okay? Sometimes the things that we need to let go of aren't just like at a conscious level. Sometimes we need to meditate and ponder on that so we can go a little bit deeper into our subconscious and really pick up what it is that we need to let go of, because some things aren't going to be as superficial as like what I mentioned, shopping, for instance, that type of thing. Sometimes it's more so like, what traumas are we holding on to, or what outdated beliefs from our childhood are we holding on to? What do we need to let go of? And really, really think about that, and some of it might hurt. Some of it might come up and sting because it's painful, and it's not always stuff that we like to address because, again, it's painful. It sucks, right? But as soon as we do that for ourselves, we are liberated with a new perspective, a new energy. We're no longer in that stagnant, because what can happen is if we choose not to address the emotions that we know we need to face, they're going to linger through us in different ways, and they'll continue to impact our choices and continue to affect our lives in unforeseeable ways, because it's still there in resonance with our subconscious and with our psyche, and that can really affect us. With every decision we make, really, with all of our thought processes, etc. So, something to be mindful of. I know that's something that I definitely need to address myself. It's not easy, it's not fun, but it needs to be done. It just is part of the process. So, something to think about. And also, one other thing I wanted to mention, because Spirit is telling me to mention it, is with shadow work. Okay, we hear a lot about shadow work and, you know, all those things that lie dormant within us that sometimes we don't like to face because they're not the best sides of ourselves. They're not the sides of ourselves that we're proud of. They're the sides of ourselves that we would rather just maybe not, you know, maybe not. I know I definitely have a few of those, and anytime I even like try to face it, it's like so painful for me. I'm like, oh God, no. So I understand that, but maybe trying to write down some things that you know you maybe aren't proud of. And instead of judging yourself for that, which we tend to do as human beings, so don't feel bad if you do that initially, but try to offer yourself love and compassion for those traits because your basements are most likely the catalyst for your balconies. And what I mean by that is your biggest strength is often, you know, kind of your greatest weakness as well, if that makes sense. Like, so it can be beneficial, okay? It's not all negative. There has to be these scales in life, right? There has to be duality in life. That's what we're here for, is duality. There's nothing that's set in a perfect way in life because that's just not how Earth works. But so offer yourself that compassion and don't forget you have amazing traits as well. Okay, let's see. One last card. Let the money flow in. Abundance, abundance. Set that intention for abundance. Okay. Manifest moolah. Okay, something else you can do that I learned from Stargirl the Practical Witch. Visualize a money tree with literal like $100 bills all around it. Huge tree over your head, like meditation status, and just visualize the money. Listen to music about money. Being in that energy of abundance, which is like that complete whole joy, like that whole body joy, right? Gratitude. I know you guys know what I'm talking about because we've all been there. If you can like sit in that space and visualize what you want, if you can sit in that emotion of joy and visualize what it is that you want, whether that's a new car, a new, you know, money, your future, whatever you want that to look like, if you can do that for yourself, that is going to be the most powerful thing you can do. Green is another great color to work with. Ametrine is a great color to work with, or a great color, a great stone to work with. For manifestation, pyrite is another big one. We just saw that one, right? Any green crystal, really, which is funny because we did have malachite and even epidote is more of a greenish color as well. So green is a big one if you want to wear green. Being outside in nature, nature is abundant in its energy. So, you know, just really resonating with whatever, like I said, that intention with whatever suits your soul and makes you feel abundant is going to add to your manifestation because you're already in a higher resonance with other frequencies that align with you. Like, for instance, crystals. That's why crystals are often used with manifestation. So it's just going to enhance that vibe, right? It's just going to make you feel in a better state. And if you want to even get dressed up, if you want to feel fancy, like if you want to start being in that, like that energy, that's why I like have been cleaning out my room and stuff because I wanted to make my room look rich. You know what I mean? I wanted it to look bigger, so I got rid of like a bunch of crap and I wanted to decorate it so it could look rich. Sorry, that's like my new favorite thing to say. I don't know why. I'm weird. Because I think of that Lil Wayne song, Rich something. I can't say it, but with Nicki Minaj. And I think one of them says, like, in one of the lines, I don't even remember if it's her or him, and they say rich. And so everything is rich or something like that. So I always just like to say rich. That's my new favorite thing, but whatever. Okay, so that I think, oh yeah, we got to do the sacred poetry. That's the most exciting part of this whole thing. Hello. So the first one is more so just, I think I kind of like mentioned this at the beginning, but the first poetry is more just in correlation to the moon and how it works with like the ebbs and flows, the tides, right? So it's more of that type of thing. And then the second one is definitely more so in correspondence with the eclipse. I tried to get clever with it. The end kind of skipped a little. I think the end part was where I was someone writing and not my angels, because that's where I'm like, what? So just bear with me on that. Okay. And I don't have titles for these poems, you guys. Like, I don't write any title for any poem. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I'll just use like the first couple words that I say in the poem. So if you guys ever have any calling to help me with a title, that would be fabulous, but don't feel obligated by any means. So here we go. Moonlit motion, waves of the ocean, setting the devotion by moon's notion. Despite distraction, continued interaction, devotional encouragement, cyclical nourishment. I love it. It's one of my favorite ones. Okay, actually, you guys, I don't tell you guys this, or I don't really tell anyone, because I post a few poems on social every now and then, but I have so much material that I've just written in my phone from the past year. I want to say year. No, it's probably been a little less than that, but so yes, just know that it's gonna be good. All right, so I'm gonna keep writing. I just love writing. If you're one of those people that has a hard time expressing emotion, what I really recommend is journaling or writing. I really related. There was like this interview with Taylor Swift, and she's like, I don't even know what I'm feeling until I put it in a song. And I was like, oh my God, girl, like, is that me? I'm pretty sure it is. Like, my moon's in Gemini. I don't know how to like process emotions emotionally. I have to like mentally like talk about it. So the writing is so like perfect for being a moon in Gemini. Like, I feel like, I don't know if Taylor Swift's moon in Gemini. She very well could be, because it's very soothing for that type of like, so if you're one of those people that has a hard time processing emotionally, it might be in your best interest to write. And that doesn't have to be like creatively. It can also just be journaling and things like that. So yes. Okay, so the last poem, guys, can you give me like 2 minutes? I'm almost done. I gotta read one more poem and then I'm all done, okay? I'll charge you. Okay, thank you. I will. I'll be right out. Yeah, as soon as I'm done, let me read one more poem, okay?
But can I read one more poem?
No, because I need to keep you off the camera for now until you're older. Okay, I just need a couple minutes because we're wasting a lot of film time and I don't know how to edit. Sorry, guys. Okay, so the last one is about the eclipse. Okay, which is, we talked about it a little bit. It's when the Earth's shadow covers the moon. Okay, that's essentially what an eclipse is. I think we talked about that before. Hi. Okay. No, really, guys, just a couple minutes, please. Okay. Shadowed release, renewing peace, emotional hiding, overshadowed, then finding, inner resolution, new inspiration, restored regeneration. Okay, so thank you guys so much for your patience. I'm sorry for this distraction with my kiddos. They're so cute. I love them so much. But thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I hope these insights helped, like, even remotely. Yeah. I hope you guys are excited for the moon. I hope you guys go and look at it at least, and I hope you can see it from where you're at. You know, even just sitting under the moon for like 5 minutes. You don't have to be naked when I said like the moon bathing. If you just want to be with the moon, that's very powerful. Obviously, the stars are very powerful too. So, yes. But anyway, I love you guys so much. I'm wishing you nothing but the best manifestations and abundance. And I'm excited for you. Okay, so please don't forget to like and subscribe if you've liked the content. Please let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. But meanwhile, I will be filming another video soon. And I love you guys so much. And we'll talk soon. Okay. Goodbye.